Newcastle United fans have been saved by a Saudi prince by the name of Mohammed Bin Salman. The billionaire prince is set to purchase the Tyneside club in a takeover worth £350 million, releasing the once great club from the shackles of Mike Ashley. Following 13 years of misery, Newcastle United will now look to challenge for Champions League places, and possibly even challenge for a title. Now in hands of the man that brought WWE and Anthony Joshua vs Andy Ruiz to Saudi Arabia, we believe he will look to spend big in the first summer transfer market. I've decided to predict Newcastle's first 5 transfer signings under new ownership. Let's take a look at Newcastle's best starting 11 and see what they can improve on. Goalkeeper, Martin Dubravka. On the level of Nick Pope and Dean Henderson, I believe he's an underrated goalkeeper and is one of the best goalkeepers outside the top 6. With Under-17 World Cup winner Freddie Woodman coming back from a loan spell with Swansea, Newcastle will also have a great backup and a future prospect goalkeeper on their hands. I feel Newcastle won't need to purchase a new goalkeeper for a while to come. Defenders. Right back, Javier Manquillo. Manquillo just isn't suited for a top-class European club. He's not the type of player you'd see in a title-challenging side, and considering he had his chance at Liverpool and didn't make it, I don't feel like he's good enough for this Newcastle team that has big goals in the future and has eyes on trophies. Centre-backs, Fabian Schär and Jamal Lascelles. Fabian Schär has been proven to be a good defender, and at a higher level than his counterparts in Newcastle. He had a breakthrough season in 18-19 and proved to be a good defender, with confidence on the ball and hard strong tackling off it, even popping up with a goal or two. He's proved to be a centre-back who could play at the highest level of English football. Jamal Lascelles is a good centre-back and a good leader, not at the top level of English football just yet. He feels as though he'll only ever be an above average defender. Merited more on his leadership skills rather than his all-round game, I feel Jamal Lascelles will need to be replaced if Newcastle will look to challenge for a title in the near future. Left back, Danny Rose or Jethro Williams. Danny Rose arrived from Tottenham on a loan deal in January, but his deal is set to be made permanent in the summer. With Rose already proven at the highest level of English football, and Jethro Williams showing good form this season, I feel these two are suited to help Newcastle battle for Champions League places. So who do I think are Newcastle's perfect signings to replace Jamal Lascelles and Javier Manquillo? Well, at right back, I believe the perfect replacement would be Max Aarons from Norwich City, valued at around £20 to £25 million. The highly touted English right back is said to be on the level of Reece James and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, averaging 1.3 tackles and 0.8 intercepts per game last season, as well as being dribbled past only 0.6 times per game. He's proven to be a good defensive fullback. On top of that, he has also shown some attacking ability, getting 1 assist for a lacklustre and defensive Norwich side, as well as averaging 0.7 key passes per game, only 0.1 less than the likes of Reece James and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. At the age of 20, these numbers are only set to get better. With the likes of Spurs and Arsenal after his signing, Max Aarons is clearly a highly touted right back, and would be a great addition to a Newcastle side that is in need of a high quality right back. At centre back, I feel a perfect signing would be Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli. Valued at around £50 to £60 million, I feel this isn't outside of Newcastle's new price range. One of the premier defenders in world football, Koulibaly is sought after by many of Europe's elite clubs and is said to be on the level of the likes of Van Dijk, Chiellini and Harry Maguire. Averaging 3.6 tackles and interceptions per game and being dribbled past just 0.7 times per game. This is substantially more than Harry Maguire, who averages 2.9 tackles and interceptions per game. The Senegalese centre-back would be a big statement signing for Newcastle. I feel he'd be the perfect signing for Newcastle United and shore up their defence, getting rid of any defensive woes and bring their defence to the next level that they need to compete for Champions League places and possibly even the Premier League. Centre-midfield, the Longstaff brothers. With Sean having already stamped his name into the starting 11 and being mentioned in transfer rumours with the likes of Manchester United for a fee of upwards to £50 million, it is clear to see that he will keep his place in Newcastle's starting 11 for some time to come. With younger brother Matty recently bursting onto the scene with a standout performance against Manchester United, scoring an absolute wonder goal in a dream debut. Newcastle have 2 red-hot prospects on their hand, and 2 players that could not only lead the line in Newcastle's midfield for years to come, but also lead the line in England's midfield for years to come. On top of their evident ability, talent and passion for the club, the two are also Newcastle natives and are beloved by the fans, and are looking to breathe life into the fans of Newcastle United after Mike Ashley sucked it out over a 13-year period. The Longstaff brothers are set to become the poster boys of the new Newcastle dynasty. Right midfield, Alain Saint-Maximin. Following an inspired debut season, Alain Saint-Maximin gave the Geordie fans skill and attacking flair that they had been calling out for years. He is a talisman for the Newcastle side, and has already become a legend amongst the Toon faithful. he is sure to keep his place in Newcastle's starting 11 for the next couple of years. Left midfield, Miguel Almiron. When Newcastle signed the Paraguayan playmaker in January of 2019 from Atlanta for a club record fee of £21 million, fans were ecstatic. Mike Ashley had finally forked out and broke the transfer record. However, Almiron failed to live up to the hype, only managing 2 goals and 1 assist in 38 games. I feel he needs to be dropped to the bench or even possibly sold, as this is not the player a Champions League team would have in their starting 11. There's a lot better and cheaper alternatives out in the transfer market that Newcastle should definitely look to pick up in this transfer window. Attacking midfield, John Joe Shelvey. With only 5 goals, John Joe is Newcastle's top scorer this season. However, he's had his chance at a top side and has failed to flourish. Again, he's another player that I feel would be no better than above average. I feel in this position, a big marquee signing would be a great statement of intent for Newcastle's challenge for Champions League places. I feel Newcastle are lacking a natural born playmaker that could cut defences apart and create goals, both for himself and the others around him. At right mid, I've gone for another Norwich City player. With Norwich sure to go down next season, I'm positive that a lot of their young, talented players will look elsewhere for playtime. That is why at right mid, I've gone for Emiliano Buendia. Valued at £15 to £20 million, I feel he'd be the perfect replacement for Miguel Almiron. In the Premier League last season, he had the joint third most assists, level with the likes of Riyad Mahrez and Man City. Coming in with 7 assists, he had 4 more than any other Norwich player that season. Averaging 2.6 key passes per game and 3.3 dribbles per game, I feel he'd be a great goal threat. In comparison to Newcastle starlet, Alan Saint-Maximin only averages 1.3 key passes per game, however he does average 4.4 dribbles per game. On top of his evident attacking ability, he also makes around 2.3 tackles per 90. With all this in mind and a relatively cheap price tag, I feel he'd be the perfect sign for Newcastle this summer. In attacking midfield, I feel Newcastle should sign James Rodriguez. At 28 years of age, James is definitely not a young talent anymore, but out of favour at Real Madrid, he still is a top talent. Only making 4 appearances last season, however he got 1 goal and 1 assist in those 4 appearances. This I feel isn't a fair representation of how good this player is. He won the Golden Boot at the 2014 World Cup, and the season before last he was on loan at Bundesliga side Bayern Munich, where he averaged a goal or assist every other game. For a fee of around £30 million, I feel this player will be a bargain. On top of that, Newcastle will be signing a world-class talent that will fit into any top European side. It would be a major statement and a major show of intent that Newcastle would like to challenge for top 4 places and possibly the Premier League in time to come. Striker, Joe Linton. After Newcastle smashed their club record fee and paid £40 million for Joe Linton in 2019, fans were sceptical. They had just paid £40 million on a relatively unknown and unproven striker. It seemed as though they saw a Brazilian striker that played for Hoffenheim and thought, it worked for Liverpool, so why wouldn't it work for us? He's been next to horrible this season, not scoring many goals at all and never looking that much of a goal threat. He's not a top tier striker, and there's 10, possibly 20 strikers in the Premier League that is better than him. If Newcastle want to challenge for Champions League places, and possibly even the Premier League, they are definitely going to have to replace him. Like Chelsea and Man City before them, I feel Newcastle will have to go for a big marquee signing, and sign a young world class talent that is sought after by some of the top clubs in Europe. With a release clause of £52 million, Timo Werner is the perfect option in my opinion. With 21 goals and 7 assists this season, he averages around 1.2 goal contributions per every 90 minutes. No Premier League player is equal to this record. Only Lewandowski has more goals in the Bundesliga this season than Timo Werner. He's easily one of the best strikers in European football this season, and is still only at the age of 24. Liverpool, Real Madrid and Chelsea are all in talks to purchase the young striker, possibly the most informed striker in world football at the minute. If Newcastle were to sign this striker, they would have one of, if not the best strikers in the Premier League, bringing goals, attacking flair and enjoyment to the fans that have desperately desired a player like him ever since Alan Shearer left the club. With the team assembled, I feel Newcastle will have to go for a manager change. Steve Bruce has done wonders in Newcastle, has really overachieved with a lacklustre team. However, I feel he's an upper mid-table manager at most, and I feel he just isn't good enough to lead the team to Champions League places or even the Premier League. Bringing in a new manager is an opportunity to breathe life into a squad. I feel that they need a proven world-class manager that can get the best out of their players and help them battle for trophies in the future. So as a manager replacement, I feel Newcastle should bring in Mauricio Pochettino. The ultimate underdog, said to be one of the best managers in world football, he managed to lead a bang average Tottenham team to a Champions League final. I feel with a good squad and a Saudi billionaire's backing, that Mauricio Pochettino could help lead Tottenham to Champions League places and beyond, and in 5 years he could even possibly bring the Premier League title to Tyneside. So there you have it. That's what I think Newcastle's first 5 signings should be under new ownership. I feel not only are these players good enough to help Newcastle challenge for Champions League this season, but will also entice great players to come to the Tyneside club in the future. If you disagree with my predictions, be sure to let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. If you'd like to see more, don't be afraid to subscribe, but until next time, I'll talk to you.